Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Cold Hard Truth Podcast. I'm Jack Smith, coming at you guys today with my Pro Bowl votes for this year. Going over my ballot. This is after Sunday on Week 12. I'm recording this kind of in the middle at halftime of Sunday Night Football, so the middle of Packers-Bears. So I'm not going to get the second half of those games into the votes, but I don't think that's going to influence it too much. I was planning on recording this video on Saturday, but decided to wait until after the Sunday slate of games, and that actually did have some effect. Not on my voting, but on some of my reasoning and validation for those votes. But let's get right into it with the quarterback position. We get six votes at each position, and the Pro Bowl is really an interesting thing each year because it's really a fan contest. And you hate to say that, but look, there's some people that just shouldn't get into the Pro Bowl every year because of their fandom and because of their fan bases who are going to vote them in. We've seen the stuff that's happening with Yannick Ngakoue so that you can get higher compensation picks. So look, the Pro Bowl, it's really not a big deal, and it's kind of just supposed to be fun, so they allow the fans to vote, and while, some people may disagree with it and some players might get snubbed, it's all in good fun, and so it's good to be able to get my votes in, and it's something that I enjoy doing every year for all All-Star games and especially the Pro Bowl. But getting into the quarterback position, we got 6 votes, and, right off the top, I think the first 3 are obvious. We got Patrick Mahomes, we got Russell Wilson, we have Aaron Rodgers. Right now, the top 3, I would believe, in the MVP race. I think Mahomes is 1, Rodgers is 2, Wilson is 3. But right now, they're all going to the Pro Bowl. My 4th pick is going to be Josh Allen from the Buffalo Bills, who's been having a great year. Started off really hot, cooled down just a little bit, but his Bills are still in the lead for the division. He's been playing well, been an electric playmaker all year. My 5th guy, I'm going with Kyler Murray. And the stats right here, they don't show a lot because his rushing stats this year have been absolutely insane. He's won his team some big games, showed up in big moments. Hail Murray, he beat the Seahawks in prime time. And so those are my first 5. I think those are 5 everyone's going to agree on. And 6 is where you can change it up a little bit. You could go with Tom Brady, but I think his performance in the last couple games deters you from that. His big primetime performance, it kind of deters you from that. You can go Deshaun Watson, but I'm not going to go with him. You know what? I think Deshaun Watson is worthy of the pick, but I'm going to have a little bit more fun. I'm going to go with the rookie who's been taking the league by storm, who's turned a bad team into a good team that just can't win games down the stretch. I'm going with Justin Herbert, who's been ridiculous. He's really wowed people his rookie year. And so I'm going with Herbert, rewarding him for that performance. And those are my 6 quarterbacks: Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, and Kyler Murray. Then we move to the running backs, and a lot of the running backs will come kind of from the top in this one. We've got Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook. Those are obvious picks. I think you got to go with them. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to take James Robinson, too. Been a great rookie running back. He's really the only part of that Jaguars offense that I think is going to be anything. And from undrafted, I believe, to where he is right now, you got to reward that performance. Looking down the list, I think Alvin Kamara has got to get in. Started off the season hot. He hasn't been as great, but he's still definitely been a Pro Bowl caliber running back. So that's 4 of our 6. Some of these other ones are hard to pick. I think if Aaron Jones, he's had a good season, but I don't know if it's Pro Bowl worthy. Antonio Gibson's been another great rookie. Kareem Hunt's been great, but now that he shares a backfield with Nick Chubb, I don't know. Nick Chubb, he's been great, but he's been hurt. The last 2 guys, I'm definitely going to put Ronald Jones in. I think Ronald Jones has had a great season so far. He's been great for the Bucs. And the fact he's been able to stick it out and play well on a team that really looked like they didn't want him there the first couple of years, and they brought in Leonard Fournette. He's fought through all the adversity, and he's gotten his carries, and he's really blown up. He's had some great games. The 98-yard run sticks out, but throughout the entire year, he's had some great games, some impressive performances, so I think he gets rewarded, goes to the Pro Bowl. And the last vote, I'm going to stick toward the top here. Josh Jacobs. The Raiders have been great. He's 3rd right now in the NFL, I believe, in rushing touchdowns. No, 4th. He's been a force to be reckoned with in that Raider offense, which has been revitalized a little bit under John Gruden. And I think Josh Jacobs gets recommended. Close up, though. Nick Chubb, if he had more games, Nick Chubb is in. I think Antonio Gibson would be in. Todd Gurley's been good, too. There's been a lot of good running backs, so it's tough only picking 6. But these are the 6 I'm going to go with. If I had to switch them out, I think I'd probably switch out Ronald Jones or Josh Jacobs for one of these other guys, but I'm going to stick solid with these 6 picks and move on to the wide receivers. We get to the wide receivers, and here's where it gets interesting because early before I had picked this yesterday, who I was going to go with my early picks. I was going to put Tyreek Hill on the Pro Bowl, and I was going to come on the episode and talk about how people were underrating him this year, how it seemed like they'd forgotten about Tyreek Hill, and then he absolutely put on a show against the Buccaneers. And now look, he's number one in all the stats that you're looking at right here. I was going to pick him anyway. I was going to talk about how he was underrated and unappreciated this year. But now that everyone's seen it, I definitely can't say that anymore. So it's pretty interesting how he changed that narrative a little bit with this game. I've got him. He's going to go into the Pro Bowl. DeAndre Hopkins is a shoo-in for the Pro Bowl. Stephon Diggs deserves to make it to the Pro Bowl. So there's our first three, kind of the three big names. I think I'm also going to go Devontae Adams, who before Tyreek Hill blew up, had the most receiving touchdowns in the league, tied with Adam Thielen. And so there we've got four. And from here it gets interesting because DK Metcalf was having a great season. These stats, keep in mind, is one less game than everybody. I think he's got to be able to go to the Pro Bowl. I think he deserves a spot. And so then now we have five, and we've got to find another one. And this is where it comes down really to three guys. I think it comes down between Terry McLaurin, Justin Jefferson, and Keenan Allen. And early before, I'm going to give the edge to Justin Jefferson, but I was leaning McLaurin, 963 yards, but only 3 touchdowns is the part that kind of scares me, makes me kind of look towards somewhere else. The fact that Justin Jefferson has this many yards with just less receptions shows you how explosive he is, but Keenan Allen, just these numbers, you can't look away. 85 receptions for 875 yards. Yes, it's less per attempt, but 7 touchdowns too. It's really a toss-up. And while I want to go Jefferson because I said he was my sleeper for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I still think he's really the favorite of the receivers for Offensive Rookie of the Year, I think you got to reward Keenan Allen for what he's been doing. A big part of that's helping Justin Herbert. And I love Justin Jefferson. I'd love to reward him by sending him to the Pro Bowl. But right now I think these have to be the 6 votes for Tyreek Hill, Hopkins, Diggs, Allen, Adams, and Metcalf. I just feel like, it's hard to snub Justin Jefferson. I'd love to get him in, but these are the 6 I got to roll with and just move on before I change my mind. We get to the tight ends, and tight ends have been a little bit... Oh, sorry, fullbacks. We get to the fullbacks. It's hard. You got to pick 6 fullbacks. I don't think if you ask someone if they could name 6 fullbacks, but you definitely you look at the teams that have been able to run the ball well. I think the first 2 guys are definitely the best 2 fullbacks because they're on teams that use them. CJ Ham and Kyle Juszczyk, I think they're definitely got to go to the Pro Bowl. Next, you look at teams that run the ball well. Janovich, the Browns have run the ball exceptionally well this year. I think you got to go Ingold. He's been clearing up lanes for Josh Jacob all year. I think you got to go Anthony Sherman because the Chiefs have been able to run the ball better this year, and I think that's an improvement. The last guy, normal years you would go Reichard from the Ravens, but they've been disappointing this year. I'm going to go Cox from the Dolphins because they've been able to make something out of everything this year, and they've had a lot of rookie backs, a lot of guys they picked up out of nowhere, and they've been able to run the ball, pretty well. And so I think that reflects well on Cox right there. So we move to the tight ends after 6 fullbacks, and we've got obvious choices right here. Kelsey and Waller, they got to be in. I'm going to go Hawkinson too. I think he's leading right now the NFC and Pro Bowl votes. He was one of my preseason predictions. We did an episode on players who would make their first Pro Bowl, and this is my biggest risk. I thought Hawkinson would make one, and I think he definitely is putting himself in a position this year to do so with 5 touchdowns, and he's just been a reliable target for Stafford all year. So the 12 yards per catch is pretty great. Then you got to find other ones. It's pretty tough. I think Mark Andrews just got a positive test, but I think he's still deserving. He's been disappointing this year, but I think he's still got to make it. And then my last 2, I'm going to go Robert Tonyan, who's been a breakout kind of star for the Green Bay Packers, and I'm going to go Jonnu Smith, touchdown machine from the Tennessee Titans. I considered a couple guys, but I think these are the obvious 6. I don't know. You could go with guys like Higbee, but he's been disappointing. You could go with Noah Fant, but really 2 touchdowns and a disappointing offense. Gronk, I think those stats are a little bit padded. I don't know if he's had that big of an impact. So these are the guys I'm going to go with. I've got Kelsey, Waller, Hawkinson, which are the easy top 3, I think, for everybody, and then Andrews, Tonyan, and Jonnu Smith, just because of their ability to get into the end zone and help their teams. And we move on to the tackles, and Look, I'll admit, offensive line is a tough spot to gauge. I don't watch a ton of offensive line film. I'm not an offensive line expert, so I'm gonna go off kind of what I know, and it is tough because some of these offensive linemen you do have to go with a little bit of name value and who the media covers, but it's just going to be how it is in the NFL. I wish I could get around to watching more NFL film, but as a high school senior, you can't really watch all the offensive linemen in the league. But Bakhtiari is definitely in. I think he's been just a super solid left tackle for the Packers his whole career, and he's been great this year. I think you got to give it to Mekhi Becton. As a Jets fan, that feels good because they finally have a good offensive lineman. I think he'd be talked about a lot more if he didn't miss a couple games. But right now, he's leading the AFC in Pro Bowl votes. He's been pancaking and demolishing guys all year who have a lot more experience than he does. So I think it just reflects well on who he is as a player. Those are the first two picks I'm going to go with. Some of these other ones are difficult. I think you look and I think we got to go down and find my favorite tackle in the league. If he's still here, I'm looking for Mitchell Schwartz. I don't know where he went. Should be here from the Kansas City Chiefs. I know he's taken over at left tackle, but I guess they took him off. Maybe he's in the guards, which I don't know why he'd be in the guards. I think he's played all over the line this year, and he's played left tackle to cover up for Eric Fisher being gone. Look, I don't know if I'm missing him. You guys got to tell me if I missed him, but we're going to have to find a different guy. From the Browns, I remember Jack Conklin has been great all year. Jack Conklin, I kind of harped on him this offseason for not being the greatest pass blocker, and I thought they brought him in just to be a great run blocker, but he's been great at both, and he's shored up that offensive line in Cleveland, which is something that last year looked like a monumental task. He's done a great job of solidifying that right tackle spot. So there's three. We got to go down to find. I like Becton, but the best tackle this year from the rookie class has been Tristan Worfs. Right tackle for the Buccaneers. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year. And look, if an offensive lineman's ever going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, Worfs would have a very good shot. And the Bucs offense has been great this year. After the last couple games, hasn't been amazing, but Worfs has been a mainstay on that offensive line and has been great for them all year. He gets rewarded. So now we've got two rookie tackles from that class making it to the Pro Bowl. You see Jedrick Wills right there has been good. He's not going to make it, though. Andrew Thomas has been pretty terrible, so he's not going to make it. And so the last couple guys, I think that's four right now. You got to look at teams that are doing well, offensive lines that are playing well, and the first guy that sticks out to me is Dwayne Brown from the Seahawks. The offensive line in Seattle has been much better this year than years past. I think you got to reward Dwayne Brown. He's getting up there in age, but he's still putting up solid performances, and he's still protecting Russell Wilson. Got to get rewarded for that. And the last guy, I'm going out to New Orleans. We got Ryan Ramscheck. He hasn't been playing as well this year, but I still think he should have made it last year. I'm so surprised he hasn't made one before. But I'm going with Ramscheck this year because, he's still a great tackle. And just because he didn't play as well as last year does not mean he's Pro Bowl caliber. So he's going to the Pro Bowl. We move to the guards on offense. These ones are a little bit interesting. I think you have to go Cleveland Browns. Joel Bitonio has been a great guard all year. I have both Browns guards getting into the Pro Bowl. I've got Bitonio right there, and we got to go find Wyatt Teller, one of the most underrated players this year, one of the most surprising players this year. Absolutely burst onto the scene. PFF darling. They just love everything about him. He's been playing super well. Got to get rewarded. Both Browns guards are opening up huge holes, and they're just running all over teams, and so they got to get rewarded. I think Quentin Nelson, shoe-in pick every year for his career, he's going to contend for a Pro Bowl spot. He's been good this year. Elton Jenkins from the Packers, I believe deserves to get in. He's been playing like he did his rookie year when he was tremendous stepping in. Wasn't a huge prospect, but has done well for himself, and he's really helped that Green Bay line. They've been better this year than I expected. It's a lot due to the offensive line continuing their play. And so now we've got two Packers offensive line members making the Pro Bowl. And the last two guys, I'm going to go with Gabe Jackson from the Raiders. Been amazing. Part of the reason why Josh Jacobs has been so good. Part of the reason why that offensive line has been so good. And I'm going to go down the list to find my last guy. I saw him while we were scrolling. Brandon Sheriff from the from the Washington football team. Sorry, I slipped a little bit there. From the Washington football team, they've been running the ball well. Like I said, Antonio Gibson Leads the league in rushing touchdowns, been great on the goal line. Sheriff's been a mainstay there for years. He gets into the Pro Bowl this year. And those are our 6 guards. Final offensive position. Now we get to the centers. This is really one of the toughest positions. I know my dad played this position in high school. It's just such an underrated position, and a position that no one really talks about. But look, you can't start an offensive play without the center, so they're a very valuable position. There's some easy picks here. You've got Ryan Jensen, Rodney Hudson, and Corey Linsley. I believe have been the 3 best centers this year. You look down the list. Jason Kelsey, you could say, but I think that Philly's been really underperforming this year, and I believe that they've had injuries all over. I just don't think I can reward him and put him in. Brandon Linder, however, will get in. James Robinson's been great. He's the best player on that offensive line. He gets rewarded. So does Ryan Kelly. The Colts have been a good running team throughout the year, and he gets in. Then we got one more guy, and I think I'm going to have to go with J.C. Treader. A lot of the Browns' offensive lines making the Pro Bowl for me. They've been really impressive, so I've got to vote for them. They've been really impressive. That's all you can really say. They've overperformed. They've been running the ball. They've been running the ball great. One of the best teams in the league, if not the best running team in the league. You got to reward their offensive line. And with 6 votes, it's hard not to vote for them to get in. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, we start with the DNs. There's some obvious picks here too. We got Myles Garrett. We go down to find. Oh, they must have T.J. Watt and outside linebackers. Okay, I hate how they do this. Because you're gonna get to outside linebackers, and you're gonna have 4-3 outside linebackers and 3-4 outside linebackers. It's a completely different position. I hate the way they do this. And here we're gonna get a mixture of 4-3 DNs and 3-4 DNs, also a different position. We're gonna roll with what they give us though. Stephon Tuitt has got to get in. I think Emmanuel Ogbah's got to get in. Ogbah burst out onto the scene this year for the Dolphins. Part of the reason that defense has been so great. So there are 3 picks. Some of these stats can kind of deceive you. Players really haven't been as good as they look. I think Cameron Jordan has been good. I think Brian Burns has been great. So there's 4 of our picks. I think with more games, Chase Young would get in. But with the way it is right now, I don't think you can give him a vote. Okay, too far down the list. I think Joey Bosa's stats are deceiving. I think he's been a much worse player than this may show you, putting him 4th on the list right here. I think you got to give Brandon Graham a vote. He's been great. 2 forced fumbles, 7 sacks, 26 solo tackles. He's been good on an overall underperforming Philly team. You got to give him a vote. One more pick. It's tough. You look at a guy like J.J. Watt, you want to give him a vote. Same with Ndamukong Suh, who's been good. But I think you got to go up here. While some of the stats may be deceiving, they're saying we got no more votes left. That would make sense if I was able to count. So that's our 6. I got Myles Garrett, Cameron Jordan, Emmanuel Ogbah, Brian Burns, Brandon Graham, Stephon Tuitt. Try to give 7. Unfortunately, they don't allow that, and I can't count. We move on to D tackles. And you know who we're going to vote for first. Aaron Donald, 10 sacks. It surprises me to see, honestly, that Leonard Williams right next to him has 6 sacks after trading away from the Jets. I believe he had no sacks last year at all. Somehow now has 6. But you have Aaron Donald, you have Chris Jones. I think you got to go Calais Campbell, who's been good. Looking down the list, I think reward DeForest Buckner for what he's done. I think you reward Jeffrey Simmons. I'm taking a vote away from Calais Campbell just because he's been missing some games. I think that defense hasn't been the defense has been good, but the team overall hasn't been great. And I'm giving a vote to someone else. You'll see Akeem Hicks is my 5th. Quinn Williams is my 6th. This may be a little biased. I'm a Jets fan. I predicted him to make the Pro Bowl going into the year, but you also can't deny production. 20 solo tackles. He's been a force to be reckoned with in the run game. 2 forced fumbles, 5 sacks. He's had some great games rushing the passer. He's struggled in some games, but he's always been a consistent run stopper. Look, 20 solo tackles, you won't see that very often around this list other than with the big run stoppers. And he also kicks in the pass rush game. So there's 6 guys. Quinn Williams deserves to get in. It's a little bit of bias. I still think he deserves it. And these are my 6 guys. If I could give another vote, I don't think it would go to Leonard Williams. I think it would go to Calais Campbell. But these are our 6 guys, and we move on to, I believe this is going to be the inside linebackers. So this is all going to be pass coverage guys. And this is tough because there are so many good inside linebackers in the league, and we only get 6 votes. I think you got to give votes to both Both of the Buccaneers linebackers just so fast, able to cover anyone, and their stats are very similar. 5 sacks. Devin White has been the better of the two, I would say so far. Levante David's been just as good. Roquan Smith leading middle linebackers and tackles has got to get in. He's been the best player, I think, this year on that Bears defense. He's been great. Another one of the players I predicted. I think I went 3 of 4. I don't think I'm going to get all of them. No, I did because I had Stephon Diggs. So I think I'm going 4 of 4. The only one I'm iffy on is Quinnen Williams. But the other 3 guys are getting in. I think you got to go Zach Cunningham's been great for the Texans. They got Fred Warner's been amazing. We got one more guy. I'm going to reward Demario Davis from the Saints. Next up would be Darius Leonard, but I just don't think you can give him a vote right now. Demario Davis has been amazing. Game wrecker, team's game plan around him. He really knows everything that's going on the field. He's able to see plays. He's able to stop plays like he did. I think his game against the Niners is one of the best games I've seen from a linebacker this year. And that was a game, him versus Fred Warner was an amazing game to watch. But he plays linebacker like it should be played, and he plays it great. So I got to reward him with a vote. And here we get to the outside linebackers. Like I talked about, I hate the way they do this. Because, look, you see a guy like TJ Watt, who his main job is rushing the passer. Same with JPP. You see them in here with a guy like, I'm trying to find a good example, Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith isn't a pass rusher, but he's in the same group. And he's got 52 solo tackles to Jay Martin's 6 solo tackles. It's a completely different position. And I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to reward some of these pass rushers. Both the Steelers guys are getting in. JPP's getting in. Zadarius Smith is getting in. These 4 guys have been amazing. Across the board, just great play. I think TJ Watt right now is my favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. Zadarius Smith's been great too. Bud Dupree's been amazing. If he goes in free agency, there's going to be a bidding war for him. And I'm interested to see how he might do on another team. I don't know if he'll succeed, but he's been great this season. Can't deny that. We get 2 more votes. 2 more votes. I think I'm going to have to throw one at Leonard Floyd, who's been great this year. I really didn't believe in him when he went to the Rams this offseason. Really did nothing with the Bears. But, I'm going to go with Leonard Floyd. I think he's been great. Going onto that defensive line has helped him, but 7 sacks, can't deny production. He's been great for them. What I believe is the best defense in the league so far this year, other than Pittsburgh. I think it's close. I think they've been great. I'm going to give a vote to Leonard Floyd, and I'm going to give a vote to Khalil Mack. He's Khalil Mack. You got to give him a vote. 6.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. He's going to the Pro Bowl. And now we get into the 3 last defensive positions. We got the defensive backfield. Xavier Howard's getting in. J.C. Jackson's getting in. They have 7 and 6 interceptions, respectively. And their defensive has been good. So you got to give them votes. It's just, when they make plays like that, it's hard to deny it. Xavier Howard has been maybe the best corner in football this year. I don't think so, but you could make the argument. And 7 interceptions, you just can't deny that. I'm going to go find, however, the best defense, the best corner in football for the Los Angeles Rams. Jalen Ramsey has been tremendous. He's back to his old form with the Rams, playing like he did on the Jaguars. So there's our first 3 guys. I think the roads are closed this year. Xavier Roads, we kind of all touched on it in our off-season video, that if you have that kind of talent and you have that kind of skill, it doesn't disappear. It goes somewhere. You got to go find it again. He had a terrible season last year, but he went back and found his old self, and the roads have been closed once again this year. We got 2 more votes. I think I'm going to vote for, where did he go? From the New York Giants, James Bradbury right here. He's been great. One of the guys I was wrong on. I did not think he was going to be very good, and he has been great, so I got to reward that. And I'm going to go with Carlton Davis. 39 solo tackles. He's great in the run game. He's great in pass coverage for the Buccaneers. One of the reasons why that defense has been so good. One of the reasons why that defensive backfield has been so good. Those are my 6 votes for the cornerback position. Moving on to strong safety. Buda Baker's the obvious pick. I think Jonathan Abram gets in. I think Eddie Jackson gets in. Looking down the list, Tyrann Mathieu. These numbers aren't as great as they look. He really hasn't been amazing this year. Been underwhelming. I think Malcolm Jenkins, however, gets in. I think Strong safety is one of the harder positions to pick 6 because they haven't been great this year. There aren't a whole lot of great strong safeties. Jordan Poyer gets a vote. And last pick, got to pick one more. I think I'm going to go with Harrison Smith. 3 interceptions. He's just Harrison Smith. That's all you got to say. He's maybe the best safety in football on kind of a year-to-year basis. Not this year, but overall you could make that argument. And he's been good. It's just you're kind of going off name value a little bit, but he's been good. He's always good, and I think he deserves to go to another Pro Bowl. Final defensive position, free safety. Best safety in football this year, in my book, has been Jesse Bates. I think you got to give a vote to Justin Simmons and Minka Fitzpatrick. A shout out to Anish. Said that Justin Simmons would get in this year. He did. First ever Pro Bowl for him. Of many, I think. I think he'll be very good for years to come. Going to New York again, I think Marcus May, just the production there has been great. Stepping in for Jamal Adams, who's gone and hasn't been great in Seattle, but he was great with the Jets. Marcus May's filling in that role pretty well. I think you look for the rookies. Where are the rookies? Julian Blackmon. I think he's one of them. And here we go. Antoine Winfield is going to be the other one. Those are our 6 guys. They've just been great. Both these rookies have been tremendous. And all 6 of these free safeties has been game changers for their defense. Other guys I would think about going with, Logan Ryan's been really good. It's hard not to vote for him. But trying to reward players from different teams, different defensive backfields. So I'm going to go with these 6. I think these 6 have been great. A little bit of bias, I think, in there with the Marcus May selection. But if you look at the way he plays, look at the impact he has on each game and these numbers, I think he's a Pro Bowl caliber safety. And then we move on to special teams. And look, special teams are always hard to vote for. Kickers, Koo's got to go in. I think Jason Sanders has been amazing. I think you look for Will Lutz is always good. Justin Tucker's got to make it. 2 more. I think Butker's been good. 17-17 is always good. You hate leaving some of these guys out. I'm just trying to think of some of the bigger kicks you've seen this year. I think Matt Prater. You got to give it to Matt Prater. He's won games for his team, and so I'm going to go with Matt Prater. Hunters now. Long snappers. They really make us choose 6 long snappers. You can tell by the smile on my face. I don't know anything about long snappers. So basically, just vote for whoever you like. Vote for the teams you like. It's got to be really tough. And so I'm not going to vote just for fear of snubbing people and not voting for the right people. I'm not going to vote for long snappers. And I think it's going to be really tough to vote for any of them. Punters, we get 6 punters. Johnny Hecker's in. Michael Dixon is in. Matt Hawk is in. I think Thomas Morstead's been great. Where's Braden Mann? Braden Mann's leading all AFC punters in Pro Bowl voting. It helps that he's punted so many times, 56 punts on the year. That's how bad the Jets have been. Where are the other guys I'm looking for? Long have 71. Dixon's got to get in. It's also 23 aside to 20. It's just great. We have one more punter, I believe. There was one more. Oh, where is he? Yes, Cook from the Ravens. Oh, okay. You know what? I still can't count. It's the second time I've done it in this video. I thought we only selected... Oh, no, sorry. I didn't want Dixon. I want Cook. Cook has been the best punter I've seen, other than Hecker, who I believe is the best punter in the league. Long of 59, 17 of 37 inside the 20. He's been great, kept the Ravens in some games. In key situations, he's showed up. Those are my 6 punters. But one of you guys got to go in the comments and leave me a link teaching me how to count, because I obviously can't count 6. Return specialists, we have, again, 6. Cordell Patterson's in. Andre Roberts is in. Where are the guys I'm looking for? From the Ravens, I want Duvernay. I think Pharaoh Cooper's always been good. Tony Pollard is good. And we got one more. I think there aren't a whole lot of other picks. I think these are kind of the 5 good ones. Just thinking about people that have affected games. I wish they showed touchdowns. That would be a pretty good stat for them to have. But I just think you got to look at some of these other stats. Think about the teams that have had good special teams, and think about any big plays you've had. Jakeem Grant's always good. It was between him and Hardman, I think, these last two, but Grant's always good, and you got to reward him for that. And we got the last one, special teamers. The obvious pick is the Patriots right here. Slater's always good. I think we're going to go with Hollins. The Dolphins have been killing it on all facets of the game. You got to reward them there. I think Ford has been good for the Eagles. What are the other guys I'm looking for? Oh, Boone from the Vikings has been good. I think Gray, you got to reward the Saints. And last guy, Scott. The Rams have one of the best special teams units in the league, and they've been great all year. But that's my Pro Bowl ballot. It's tough talking through these. Some of these are hard to pick six because there's too many. Some of them are hard to pick six because there's not enough, as you could tell by these special team ones. But let me know down in the comment section below what you think of some of these Pro Bowl picks. Who are your picks for some of the back and forth predictions? Do you agree with what I made? Any suggestions on how to fix my ballot? Things you disagreed with? I just want to hear that down in the comment section. You can go down. You can go down into our Instagram or into our bio, find our Instagram, our Twitter, our website. And if you like this kind of content, please leave a like and subscribe. Turn the notification bell on. That's the best way to show your support on the videos. But also let us know down in the comments other kind of content you want to see. That's all I got for you guys today in this video. This was my Pro Bowl ballot. We'll see and we'll kind of discuss what the actual Pro Bowl ballot comes out, whether that's on our Instagram, through a live feed or a recorded thing or another episode on here. But that's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.